It's June 19th, 2020.
This is Nerd Bourbon episode 159. I'm Seth Sturgill.
And I'm Todd Sturgill.
Todd.
Hello.
Take me into your fake happiness, Todd.
Oh, do you like my fake energy that I am giving right now? It's so good.
I mean, I appreciate it. I mean, I want you to be lively for this exciting episode of Nerd Bourbon. I want the light inside is broken, but you still work.
No. That may have been true once.
I wish I was there physically to help you, but I can only be with you in the sort of ever-living force of the internet.
I'm real close to going just full postal at work.
This is going to be, it's going to be funny. This episode is going to be entered into evidence.
Exhibit A.
Yeah. Now, Mr. Sturgill, did you or did you not say that you were going to, quote, go postal?
Yes, I did.
Did you or did you not say that you were going to, quote, remove your testicles with your bare hands and place them into your empty eye sockets?
And I'll say this, everyone at this store deserved it.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Well, hello, people of the court. I hope this is a good episode for you. I hope you're all excited for some video game news.
Somebody needs to be. No, I'm just...
Come on, Todd. Come on. This is the one day of the week that you can look forward to. This is your Nerd Bourbon has always been. You've always called it the light of your life. Let it be your savior today. Pray with me, Todd. Well, have you been playing any video games this week?
What is a video game? No, not really. It's been maybe an hour of Call of Duty. This entire week. A singular hour.
It's fair. A singular depressed hour. All right. Well, I played a happy, fun game a little bit that I could talk about briefly. I played a couple. It's actually funny because I'm not super positive about this game in question. It was actually kind of. Do you remember when we watched the Nindies showcase that they did a couple months ago, and there's a game called Summer and Mara? You remember that?
It's not ringing any bells.
It's kind of like you play as this little girl, and you go between different islands, and there's farming.
Oh, okay, yeah, I remember that one.
Kind of has a cell shaded kind of Wind Waker art. So, yeah, it's not that great. It finally came out this week, and I played it for a little while. I'm gonna play it a little bit more to see if maybe it'll get its hooks in me. But just I'm just talking just in terms of the pure as a game. Even if the systems or whatever and the idea is solid, it's just not. It's just janky, man. It's really janky.
Really rough or what?
It's rough. The frame rate is actually really solid, but I'm just talking about just the sheer the animations and the just the little annoyances in the systems, the way you have to run all the way back to your house if you want to craft stuff, which is basically all the time.
Yeah. There's just some quality of life shit that the game needs.
Quality of life shit that they definitely could have. It just seemed like it needed more time in the oven, needed more play testing and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm going to play it a little bit longer because I did spend money on it. But it was kind of funny because I was really actually looking forward to the game before it came out. I was like, oh, this looks like it's going to be a really cool little indie game. And then I pre-ordered it or whatever. And then as it was getting closer to release, I was starting to see reviews crop up. I was like, oh no. I was starting to see 3 out of 10. I was like, ooh. was like, "Oh, I don't really listen to reviews. Let me play it myself." And I was like, "Yeah." Even little stuff, even like the movement, like it just doesn't feel good. Like it just feels weird. Like it just feels low budget. It
It
just feels really
feels
janky.
foul.
The game feels foul.
Something went afoul.
It's rotten. No, but it's funny in terms of like new video games. That's the main one. I'm still on my grind with Ring Fit. I'm still on my grind with my daily Animal Crossing chores.
I wish I could even say that.
See, Todd, you gotta get in that routine. Gotta get in that routine, my boy.
I do have a routine.
Work and sleep.
Yes.
Oh, I did get actually. I should shout this out. Since last we met, I did get my throne.
Oh, the golden toilet.
No. In real life, my new chair.
Oh, yeah. You sent me a Snapchat of that.
I sent you a Snapchat of it. I don't think it captures its full glory.
It helped when you did the like you showed me your original chair versus that one. That helped a
Oh
little.
yeah,
That helped a little bit. It's
yeah.
a, it
So
was like the equivalent of me like showing you my old e-bike versus my new e-bike.
oh yeah, dude. Like this chair. So I literally for the past like decade, I've been in this like dinky ass chair. I think my dad brought it home from work because it was like defective or something like that. Just like a very dinky little office chair. I've needed a new one for years. And then actually, so as I've been gearing up to do my new podcast and everything, I've been doing a lot more work at my computer, kind of leading up to the launch that we had last week. And then like there was a day where I was in my chair for a straight like 4.5, 5 hours, and when I stood up, I actually had to like clutch the nearby wall because I was
Hmm.
in so much pain from sitting there for
Mhm.
that long. And that was when my wife was like, "Yeah, no, I'm ordering your new chair right now." So this chair is a beast, man. It's big, it's wide, it can handle my girth. It can it's got like a ridiculous like 500-pound weight limit. Like it, dude, you sit in a chair normally and there's a little bit of give. No. This chair This chair accepts nothing. I am as a feather to this chair. This chair gives no fucks. I love it, man. It's a little too big to be honest with you. Like it's actually kind of a struggle for me to sit all the way back in it. It's so fucking big. But yeah, so I now have my throne. I'm not gonna have any more awkward like squeaking noises from my chair and stuff like that. That's always been annoying to edit out. I got this nice comfy thing. I've taken many naps in it already, like an old man. You ever do that? Just old man chair nap?
It's not by choice.
Oh no, it's not. That's a key component to the old man chair nap. It's never by choice, Todd.
I fall asleep just getting naked.
If I'm basically, I think I told you this before. If I'm basically in a quiet area for long enough, undisturbed, I will probably fall asleep.
Doesn't even need to be quiet for me.
There, another thing I got, and if we're talking about mail call, I think I showed you a picture of this. I finally got my little baby Yoda plush. Do you see that? Did I send you a picture of that?
Uh, I think I don't really remember.
I was happy about that. So
I'll
now
be
I have my
honest. This
son.
week has been a blur.
It's all been a blur, Todd. All been a blur.
It felt like just
Well,
yesterday I was sitting down to record.
it was a whole ass week ago, Todd.
Amazing.
A whole ass week
Oh,
ago.
how time flies when you're having fun.
Is that what you call it?
I'm having loads of fun.
You know what this podcast is gonna there one day when you just like go off the deep end, you become like a crazed serial killer or something. This podcast is gonna be treated as a documentary. Like there's going to be somebody who like stays up late, feverishly listening to all like 200 episodes and just like trying to understand your psychosis. Like let's really get into the mindset of the killer.
And watch my descent into madness.
It's like, in this period of his life, he played Monster Hunter for like 5 straight months, so he wouldn't shut up about it. In this period now he's now he's just not doing anything. He's just kind of working and sleeping and laying there.
Like God intended.
Well, I'm sure it's been a real thrill for all of our listeners. To Anyway, Todd, we haven't really been up to too much this week, but that does not mean that we don't have news if you're ready to consume it.
Let us begin.
I do have one thing to say just right at the top. We did make the executive decision to not cover EA Play Live 2020 this week. There's a good reason for that. So we normally record the show on Wednesdays, and these motherfuckers doing their like naughty 3 conferences and choosing to do them on Thursdays.
Granted, Thursday technically is not an issue unless you go if you go a little too late.
Well, yeah, it would. So, and by the way, so like, yeah, that's exactly what happened last week. Sony had their PS5 reveal. It was at such and such time. We had enough time to watch it, kind of quickly record before you went to work Thursday night. No big deal, right? EA is like, oh, hey, we're gonna start our shit at like 6 p.m. Thursday night.
Now here's the thing: we'd be able to watch it, but recording that would be a no-go because like I'm not like depending on what time that is, what time we would finish. I'm usually leaving the house at like 8 o'clock.
Yeah, so it's like no, that was not gonna work, and in no reality would that
You
work.
were like trying to go gung ho, like we'll record after you get off of work, and I'm like,
Yeah. Here's the deal. Like, I really do try. It's just the curse of any podcast, like especially when you try to talk about current events and stuff like that. Like news is always going to slip through your fingers, and there are some cases where I'm willing to make that leap. Like the PS5 event. Okay, that's the reveal of the PS5. That was a major
yeah,
event. That's probably going to be the single biggest event we're going to cover all year, right? So like that was kind of important. We had to make that work, right? But with this, I'm like, okay,
yeah. But say EA is like for the most part always been just a face melter for like during E3, and I'm just like, I mean, if you dead ass at one point were like, well, we got to do this. I'm like, I could have popped like 3 reigns and and went with it,
no,
but
no, no. I would have done that for one of the big 3, but not for EA. Sorry, the person at EA who's listening to this.
would have gave myself the heart exploder cocktail.
Isn't that one of those things that's like a menu item at GTA? Do
Probably.
they have do they have like that the burger shot and they have like a heart exploder and it's like this
Yeah, so
fucking
yeah, it's like some dumbass shit.
it's like 20 patties or something like that. It's like ridiculous. But no, EA is just not usually. I mean, look, I'm excited actually to watch EA play live because there's a couple little rumblings that I think are going to be interesting. We will certainly cover it next week on the show, but it was just not worth killing ourselves to cover it on this week's show. So apologies in advance about that. There will not be EA Play Live 2020 news. However, that does mean that we can kind of take an interesting tact and do a little bit of speculation here because one thing, at least, was announced before EA Play Live, and that is Star Wars Squadrons. Now, they showed a reveal trailer for this, and they kind of gave some like scant details. It's coming October 2nd, PC, Xbox One, PS4, $39.99. It's going to be a 5v5 kind of multiplayer game. Also going to have some sort of single player campaign to it. Probably nothing major. Seems like it's going to be kind of a smaller scale Star Wars game for this fall. And they showed that trailer and they're promising to show more at EA Play, which obviously again we're not covering this week on the show. But again, this kind of puts us in that fun place where we can speculate a little bit about it. So, did you watch this trailer?
I want you to look into your heart.
Yeah, okay. So I know I'll say one thing about this trailer, and you'll immediately know how I fall about this trailer, like how I feel about it. It was a completely CG trailer,
Mm,
and you know I hate that shit. I'm like, show me some motherfucking gameplay. No gameplay, no sale. EA, EA. Listen to me. Just listen to me, EA. This is the year 2020, the year of our Lord, as evidenced clearly by all the fucking world events. This
He
is
has come.
2020.
He has returned, or he will return. Shit.
But on some real shit though, in 2020, you're telling me we're still gonna show CG trailers. Like, just show me some gameplay. That's all I want. And I know we're gonna see it at EA Play Live, blah blah blah. By the time you guys are listening to this, you've already seen gameplay and shit like that. I think that the actual idea of the game is actually cool. We talked about this a little bit when it was first leaked, that Project Maverick or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about that a little bit. I think the idea is actually pretty cool. I mean, look, if you're telling me that you and I can get into a little squadron and like fucking take on like if it's a fun like kind of arcadey PvP experience, I think that actually sounds kind of fun for $40.
I'm not a big fan of dog fighting.
If it's done right, I am. It has to be done a certain way. I think that there's a lot of potential with this idea. One thing that I do like is that they have already come out and, of course, said no microtransactions. If this just has kind of a fun little like couple of hour campaign, it's $40. It's not asking for much. I'm really hoping that they're doing this in the Battlefront 2 engine because again, Battlefront 2 just looks amazing. So I don't know. This is something that I could see myself getting into. I hope it's good. I've got high hopes, but I was just when I saw that it was an all CG trailer, boy oh boy, did that piss me off. That just upsets me on a spiritual level when that happens. Speaking of Star Wars, so this is actually something that I called months ago, but they've finally come out and said that Star Wars Celebration 2020 in Anaheim is officially canceled.
I was about to say about fucking time.
Yeah, they've been biding their time on that. I don't know why, but yeah, they finally have sort of confirmed that it's going to be canceled. And in addition, PAX West and PAX Australia also got canceled this week due to COVID-19 concerns. These were really sort of the last bastions, the
Mm-hmm.
last holdouts of people who thought that they were still going to be able to do their shit this year. And it's just like, no, guys. This is interesting, though. So, Star Wars Celebration, they're like, okay, 2020, it's a shit show. It's not happening. They're not actually coming back until August of 2022. So, they're taking 2021 off. Coming back in August 2022, still going to be in Anaheim. I think there's a whole process where it's like if you want a refund, you can get your refund. If you want your ticket to transfer to 2022, you can have that happen too.
I feel like most
But
people will probably just do that.
yeah, the money's already spent, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But um I mean, might be kind of cool to go to Anaheim for that. I don't know. At that point, I think would that be the Return of the Jedi 40th?
Think so.
Is Return of the Jedi 82? 83. I guess that's 83
It's close
according
enough. No.
to. Yeah, so I don't know. That's going to be a little bit of a weird middle ground there, but regardless, 2022 in Anaheim. PAX's answer to this though is a lot more interesting, and I'm really curious to see how this is going to work. So what PAX is doing is they're actually doing an entirely new thing called PAX Online. Okay,
Okay.
and it's going to take place over 9 days in September, and it's going to be a lot of the stuff from a typical PAX experience, but it's going to be held online. So it's going to be free, no tickets or anything like that. A totally online experience. You can still buy like the exclusive merch that they have at the shows are
Mm-hmm.
still going to be available. So like how they had those, everybody's wearing those fucking Letterman jackets at
Yeah,
South,
yeah, yeah.
right? So you're still going to be able to buy that and stuff like that online. Even though you were not able to attend the show. Um, Stuff like panels and things like that are still going to be happening. Just they're going to be streamed though. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this works. And I'm just kind of curious. I'm like, okay, if PAX Online is happening, I hope you motherfuckers have got a lot of bandwidth set aside for it.
Yeah, I swear.
Because PAX in person, it's not great in terms of like attendance and just like crowds and stuff. So I can only imagine when you make it free, when you make it freely available. So I don't know. It is kind of. I will, to their credit, it was pretty cool to see. It's cool to see people like kind of like rolling with the punches here. And it's cool to see that PAX is still going to have some kind of something. You know what I mean? I'll be very interested to see what they do with this. Anyway, we'll keep an eye on that. Maybe you and I will cover some PAX online stuff. Maybe we'll virtually attend another PAX together this year. Uh, there is a Pokemon Presents that happened today out of absolutely nowhere. I think they announced it like randomly last night at the time of this recording, where they're like, "Hey, we're going to be doing this." I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's a thing." Pokemon Presents, and in it, they basically announced like a few things, right? They announced this weird like toothbrush app called
What?
Pokemon Smile. I don't know what the deal is with that. I guess it's like gamifying brushing your teeth.
I don't like it.
It's like, all right. They announced something, I think it's called like Pokemon Cafe Mix, which is like it's whatever. It's like a little it's like a little match 3 ball puzzler.
I don't like it. No.
Is what it is. It's not really for me, but whatever. I think it's free to play. But the big news, Todd, they're making a new Pokemon Snap. Like, what? The first Pokemon Snap came out over 21 years ago.
I remember. Surprisingly.
This was mind blowing to me. I thought a new Pokemon Snap game was something we were literally never going to get. Because to be completely frank with you, the Wii U would have been the perfect place to do Pokemon Snap, and they
Yeah.
didn't do it there.
Yeah.
So like now we're getting it's called New Pokemon Snap on the Switch. It's a little bit crazy to me. We got a trailer. It looked like there were some snippets of gameplay, like kind of like accentuated with some like CG shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, what they're going for is pretty cool. It just looks like a modernization of Pokemon Snap. So another thing that's interesting, apparently this is being developed by Bandai Namco, not the original developer HAL Labs.
Interesting.
So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, new Pokemon Snap. They just say coming soon. I don't believe there's any official date for it.
2025. No.
No, no. But
Wouldn't it be done?
yeah, that'd be stupid. I mean, I'm just a little bit. The announcement happened this morning, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm just a little bit flabbergasted that it's real. I'm not some. By the way, I'm not some like diehard Pokemon Snap guy. I really liked Pokemon Snap when it came out.
I have fond memories, vaguely.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like fucking turning in your shit to Professor Oak and whatever. Welcome back. You know, that's all. That's all ingrained in my memory, right? The cool little things you could do, like throw the pester ball at fucking Charmeleon, knock him into the lava, and he becomes Charizard or whatever. Wasn't that a thing?
Oh, you're
There,
going too far trying to like make me remember shit, boy.
there's a lot of little things like that. It was a cool game. I liked that game. I think I remember. I think I have a memory of like going to some hidden area where it's like Mew and like a rainbow.
That I vaguely remember.
Yeah. So there was some way of unlocking like something like that, but yeah, I mean that's really the extent of my Pokemon Snap memories. I had fun with the game. It was a unique idea on the N64, but I can't. I'm honestly shocked. I can't believe that we're getting a sequel to it, and that it looks as good as it does, and the sort of modernization of the Pokemon Snap idea, and really it's kind of brilliant, especially like in this current modern age of like smartphones and stuff. Like everybody's a little photographer now, right? Everybody's taking pictures. You know what I mean. Everybody's sharing shit to like social media and stuff like that. I mean, Pokemon Snap in today's age
just a
makes
quick
perfect sense.
tangent. I don't understand it.
Understand what?
Everybody's like just fucking obsession with taking pictures of everything. It's fucking annoying.
Live your life, people.
I don't. This is one of the reasons I don't like going out to eat with anyone. Anyone.
Oh, they're always like, "Hang on, let me take a picture of your
Yes, it's like go
food."
fuck yourself.
That does always annoy me because I'm just like, why don't you just like experience the shit, man? Like, I like to take some pictures. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not like the entire time with my phone out. You know what I mean?
We went to the zoo together. Like even I'm like I'm just there experiencing it. I'm not really. I mean, I took some pictures, but I didn't even really care to do it.
Imagine that, Todd. You were there experiencing life, not just through a camera lens. How dare you, sir? Do you know not pics or it didn't happen?
It's dumb.
It is dumb. I know. I agree with you, man. I don't know. I definitely am like I want to experience it. You know, a few pictures here and there to satiate the people who want them, because that's the big thing. My parents in particular, they always really get on to me because like we'll go on vacation or something. Like, you never take enough pictures, blah blah blah. I'm like, well, I'm sorry. I'm trying to live my life, experience life through my own eyes. Let me look upon it with my own eyes, Todd. So anyway, but with that whole mentality that the society has today, I think Pokemon Snap fits very neatly into that box. So I don't know. I think this is going to come out and it's going to sell super well. I'm looking forward to it. It was kind of bonkers that it was even a thing at all. Another thing that's bonkers, Todd. Speaking of strange news, so this was a weird story, and I'm going to be curious to get your take on this. While the company itself has not made an official statement, AT&T is reportedly looking to sell off the Warner Brothers gaming division to the tune of $4 billion. So, a couple of things just right off the bat. I have a few more little bits of information here. So, first of all, if you didn't know, Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment, the gaming division, they currently house like licensed video game IPs such as the Batman Arkham series, the Middle Earth series, Mortal
Yeah.
Kombat, Harry Potter, all this
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Huge IP, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I had no idea that AT&T owned that, first of all.
Yeah, dead ass. I was like, first things, I didn't know that.
I had no idea that that was a thing. Secondly, I would feel like I'm actually kind of surprised that these IP are not worth more than $4 billion.
Yes,
Personally,
it's either they're just trying to get rid of it for somewhat cheap, essentially.
so here is what the report says in regards to that. Apparently, AT&T has racked up some $165 billion in debt,
So yeah, okay.
and they are looking to reduce that with this sale. Now, the reason that they may be kind of going cheap on it is because it sounds like in the negotiations of this sale, AT&T is apparently still wanting to claim royalties
Mm,
from the licenses
let
in
the
question.
money keep on rolling in a little bit.
Yeah, so I think what their strategy is here is they're like, "Hey, let me sell off," because I mean these are huge franchises. Like Batman Arkham has probably got a new game coming out this year. Um, we know there's a Harry Potter game of some kind in the works. These are active franchises. It wouldn't shock me to see another Middle Earth game coming out. You know, Mortal Kombat 11 is like I think it's currently like the second highest selling fighting game of all time or something like that. Like Mortal Kombat 11 is doing crazy well. So I mean, these are all vibrant, alive IP that WB has under their belt, and that by proxy AT&T has under their belt. They're selling them off cheap, and I guess what they're wanting to do is just rake in the residuals from them, take in those royalties, and just sort of work off of that. So this was a little surprising to me to read.
Interesting.
Some of the interested buyers that are reported include Take Two, Activision Blizzard, and EA. No surprise there that these companies would want to acquire some of these licenses. Um, Activision Blizzard is particularly huge. All these companies are huge. It wouldn't shock me if any one of them snatched this up, but none of this is official yet. We're just going to have to see if it happens. But if it does, it's going to be a pretty historic acquisition.
How the fuck did AT&T get that shit?
Dude, I have no idea. That was the most flabbergasting thing about it to me. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? AT&T? What? So I don't know.
That right there
Uh,
was the biggest news of this news drop.
I don't know, Todd. This next little bit of news. Now I saved this for last because I want your insight on this because I feel like you're going to have a lot to say about this. This may be pretty big. And I saved this for last, and it has not been a super jam packed news week this week, by the way. So I apologize. This episode's a little bit shorter than everybody's used to, but let's talk about this. Eagle eyed fans speculate that some infamous cut content could be resurfacing in Bluepoint's remake of Demon Souls.
I did hear about some shit, yeah.
So, what do you know about this? What's the deal here?
Uh okay. Uh Demon Souls cut content I'm not too familiar with, but I know there's always cut content on like all these fucking games.
Yeah.
Uh and that's always a big thing with like mods. Is a lot of time modders like get into the code, they find the cut content, put it into the game so you can check it out and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Demon Souls, again, like Demon Souls is the one game that I really it's the one I spent the least amount of time on.
Right.
So I'm not too familiar with the cut content. But here's the thing: some of that cut content is like cool shit in these games. Like it's just like you're just like, damn, it's a shame that it didn't make it in.
Right.
But like, what are the reports saying?
Okay,
From it?
so here's the deal. Basically, it's pretty infamous, I guess, in the Demon Souls community that it's this place called, I guess, Land of the Giants.
Yes, okay.
Apparently, this is a place that even the NPCs talk about. Like, it was going to be a location in the game, and I guess it got scrapped at the last minute, probably late in development. They had planned on allowing the player to go there. It even apparently in the hub has like an archstone or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
but it's broken.
Yes, that is true.
Yes, so people are thinking, and yeah, like just exactly as you said, modders and hackers found their way to access that area and look at it kind of in the game, and like and basically the land is like snowy and has castles and stuff. And so when people saw this trailer,
They
we
saw
get a
this.
few
There's a snowy area, I think.
yeah, we get a few kind of
Yeah.
quick shots of snowy areas, and Demon Souls fans are like, well, hang on, there's no place in the game that really looks like that
Yep.
except for the Land of the Giants, right?
Here's the thing: if they do that, if they just straight add that to the game, that's crazy.
So that I think there's a couple of things to talk about here because yeah, that's pretty crazy. So they could go a couple ways with it where it's like, okay, maybe they're going to make this accessible from the start. How cool would it be if maybe there was like a little kind of quest line where you could actually repair the archstone and
Yeah,
go there
that could easily be doable. I think that'd be cool too.
and like finally visit this like completely cut area from the original. But then the conversation you have to have with yourself is like that fine line, like you're kind of fucking with it a lot, right? Like when you're adding a whole area that was cut from the original game, at that point, like you kind of have to have this weird kind of like conversation of like video game preservation and shit. Because at that point, you kind of officially can't even, you can barely even call it a Demon Souls remake anymore. It's a completely new game almost at that point.
Mm, mm,
It's got new
Still
areas.
a
Like
new area.
that's a big deal though, dude. I don't know. Like that I
It's
think is like a little like you're I don't personally mind it. I think personally it would be really cool. But I think for the diehard people, the people who like don't want you to fuck with much,
I think most people that know about Demon Souls and just know, I'm pretty sure they're going to be excited about that.
yeah, I'm seeing both. There are a lot of people who are excited about it. There's some people who feel like if it wasn't in there, it wasn't in there for a reason type of shit. Because essentially, it's not as if there. I mean, there is like lore involving it and stuff like that.
Well, here's my thing: if it was something, if it got cut because they just ran out of time, which I wouldn't be fucking surprised by, but like I'd have to hear it directly from like why that shit got cut.
That is the and that's another weird thing with this is, and a lot of diehard fans are kind of nitpicking this trailer. And they're noticing weird little things, even things that are kind of potentially fucking with the lore of the game
Hmm.
that people are actually kind of getting a little upset about.
Like
So I'll
what?
give
Like
you an
what?
example. There's that I don't remember the boss's name, but there's that boss. He's like this big, like fiery motherfucker. You know what I'm
Yeah,
talking about?
flame lurker.
Yeah. So that character, apparently in the lore, the whole notion behind him is he's missing an eye, just like the other blacksmiths or whatever, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And so the notion is that, oh, like he was once one of the other blacksmiths, or he's related to them, or something like that, right? So in the new trailer,
He has
you
both his
see both
eyes.
of his eyes,
Yeah.
right? So that kind of just takes a shit on the lore there a little bit. And I don't know if that was like a mistake on their part, or if
It was
Bluepoint
more than likely
actually,
just a mistake. Yeah.
yeah, maybe it was just a mistake, maybe it was just something that they didn't really consider in the moment, or like the kind of like weirder, more fascinating possibility is that maybe they actually consulted like Miyazaki, and Miyazaki was like, "Oh yeah, no, that wasn't even supposed to be like a thing. He should have two eyes."
I was saying, man, there definitely had to be some collaborative shit, like them, taking notes from with this.
There, even though it is a Blue Point, and Blue Point, by the way, they're such a. This is maybe the most prolific port remake studio probably in the world.
Hmm.
So you have to imagine that they took this job very seriously. In fact, I know they took it very seriously because they've been teasing this for years. Literally for years.
I've been wanting a Demon Souls like remake or remaster for years.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean they've literally been talking about this for a long time, and they're even saying things to the effect of like, this is the most exciting project we've ever been a part of.
By the way, I do think that this game's gonna play like way smoother too,
Oh
versus
yeah.
the jank that is Demon Souls.
I think they're going to make this play as similarly to like a Dark Souls 3 as possible.
Hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Those who never have played Demon Souls is a jank of the highest level.
I think they're
Pretty
going to
good.
make this they're basically going to want this to be as accessible to as many people as possible while still retaining just the weirdness of Demon Souls.
Bring me a Demon Soul.
That is the one thing where I'm like, you cannot touch that.
The game's just fucking weird. There's like just some weird shit about Demon Souls, and I love it.
Yeah, also, I mean, hell, I think we mentioned this last week on the show. The thing that tipped us off is when we saw the floating fucking the floating manta rays.
Yeah, that was the I like watching it. I'm like, what is this? Like, it's like you seem familiar. Then it's like the manta ray shit. It's like, oh, okay.
As soon as you see the manta rays in the sky, it's like, oh, okay, it's Demon Souls. And then like you obviously you see like more bosses, and it's like, okay, right. But that was the tipping point moment, right?
Yeah, Tower Knight was like the main motherfucker. Like, you're like, oh, okay, this is definitely Demon.
Yeah, like some of them have just such striking designs, right? Where it's like you just they're instantly recognizable. Show me the fat official, you cowards.
Yeah, you love the fat official. I know
Eh.
that.
That's all I want to see. I want to see him in glorious high definition. What's Patches going to look like in this game? These are the questions I have. I want to see what the speedrunning community is going to be like around this game. I don't know. I'm like weirdly really excited about this game.
We shall see.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, Bluepoint we trust. They did a really good job with Shadow of the Colossus. I still maintain, and I will stick this flag in the ground yet again, and I'll continue to do this until it becomes a reality, until I will it into existence. I still think that Bluepoint is working on a remake of Metal Gear Solid, the first one.
Hmm.
I think that was one of my crazy predictions for E3 last year, which it makes me sad that we couldn't do that this year. But yeah, I think they're still doing that. Anyway, one last bit of like breaking news. It's barely news. But I just wanted to shout this out that they had a little bit of I think it was on the PlayStation blog. They had the game director for Horizon 2 on there showing off, I think it's the key art for the game. Like it's gonna be like the box art, and it's fucking beautiful. I love what they're doing in this game. Kind of said like a couple of little bits of information about Horizon 2. So saying that Aloy is setting on a quest that stretches from what we know as Utah to the Pacific coast.
Okay.
Okay, we kind of knew that it's Forbidden West, so that kind of makes sense. All the key art even has like the San Francisco Bay Bridge,
Yeah.
the Golden Gate Bridge, and all that shit like in the background. We've kind of seen that. They say that with the power of the PS5's SSD, there will be virtually no loading screens. Restarting from a checkpoint will be super fast, and when you boot up the game, you're right there in the action. There's virtually no loads with this game.
With the power of the PS5.
Yeah, I mean, with the game looking that good and loading up like that, I mean that's really going to showcase this console, I think. He did reiterate that the game is launching in 2021, which we sort of assumed.
Yeah.
But I'm still holding out hope. I think it would be so funny if 2021 is just 2017 like Electric Boogaloo, where it just comes out like a week after Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
And
But
I
so
will,
that's
and guess what, bitch? I'll not make the same mistake like you did.
oh I don't look. Horizon 2 is going to be fucking incredible. Zelda is Zelda.
I
Zelda's one of
will
those games.
play Zelda a little after.
I don't know. For me, Zelda's one of those. It's literally my favorite series. When a new Zelda game comes out, fuck everything else that's happening in my life.
Yeah, you're on your knees.
Exactly. Ready to receive it. But that is pretty much all I've got in terms of the news this week. Not a super duper huge news week, but we do. Oh, I should have mentioned this earlier. Just a quick PSA. So yeah, we'll cover this next week on the show too. In addition to EA Play Live, which we'll cover next week on the show, and anything else that happens, blah blah blah. They're also so at the end of the Pokemon um presents or whatever they had this week, they said that they're doing another one next week on the 24th. And they teased the reveal of a big project. You got any thoughts on what you think Pokemon's next big project might be that they're revealing?
Hmm.
Can't be a new game, right?
I don't know.
Sword and Shield just came out. It's not going to be a new Pokemon.
It's gonna be Pokemon Gun.
Yeah, Pokemon Gun. I honestly, if I had to guess, gun to my head, I think I think it's probably going to be Let's Go Johto.
Oh,
I think that's probably what it's going to be.
yeah.
Those Let's Go games sold really well, man. Eevee and Pikachu. They're like still some of the best selling games on the Switch. So I think we're probably going to get a gold and silver version of that, which would be weird, man, because gold and silver those are big games. I don't know, and I gold and silver is my favorite Pokemon game, so they would have me on the hook for that shit.
I think there's one last thing we need to talk about.
What?
The possibility of a new YouTube series.
Ah, yeah. You want to go ahead and talk about that now? I was going to wait until we actually got it started, but we can
Nah,
definitely
fuck
talk
it.
about
I need to manifest it.
it. Okay, well, I'll go tit for tat with you on that. So go ahead and say what you're going to say, and I have a little surprise for you.
Okay. Well, in my depression, my non-existence, essentially. I'm the happy that when I'm the happiest when I'm like recording bullshit that nobody watches on YouTube.
Hey, some people watch it.
Just creating just dumb shit. So I've never actually played Okami before, so
Let's be real. I forced it upon you.
you did,
It was forced therapy.
and I was like, "Fuck it, why not?"
It's one of those things. The Switch is the best version of Okami HD. It was on sale on Switch, like $10. I was like, you know what, dude? Like, just pick it up. Let's get a new YouTube series rolling. Okami's a nice, like, long game too, and like that'll be a good series for us. We'll do dual com on it. So yeah, we're gonna be doing an Okami HD playthrough on the channel. Now, I've got a little bit of a surprise for you, Todd. I was gonna wait until it's done because it's not done yet, but I have commissioned our friend Ivy to make the thumbnail for this series.
Oh yeah.
And I'll send you just really quickly if you want to look at it real quick on the air here on Facebook. I sent you the initial sketch.
Oh, I love it.
And it's a that's the initial sketch. It'll obviously be a lot more detailed, but yeah, I basically commissioned her to make a secret thumbnail for the series. For the Todd Plays Okami series. I was like, you know what?
I see
This
the
is the
shorts on me.
yes. Yes. I was like, the things you really just need to touch on is some sort of hoodie or vest, shorts, and a beanie.
It's true. That's all I wear.
The- these are really just the main things that need to be touched upon. But yeah, so I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna like let's go all in on this Okami series. Let's let it represent hopefully a turning point for you. I want this to be like a new sort of start for you, and I want to get you back up to 100% as in any way that I can. And I wanted a piece of art to sort of commemorate that. So I'm
Wow.
hoping just for a nice, long, awesome Okami playthrough together. You know I care about you, Todd. I just
Somebody has to.
anyway. Let's end the show as always with the Brendan Fraser quote of the week. What are you expecting? Great things out of Brendan Fraser this week, Todd?
I always do.
Well, he's got another bomb for you. Quote: "Horrible things happen, but were they horrible? No, they were just the circumstances of the world." End quote.
It's relatable.
I feel like you take in these quotes and you just like close your eyes. Oh, preach,
I,
testify.
I actually was with that one.
So that is the Brendan Fraser quote of the week. Always dropping some knowledge from our very favorite actor. And that's all I got this week for the show, Todd. You got anything else you want to add before we wrap it up?
I think that's about it, man.
All right, folks. We'll catch you next week where we will talk all about whatever happens in the world of Pokemon. We'll talk about EA Play Live. We'll hopefully have some movement in the realm of Okami by that point, and we'll talk all about that next week on the show. With that being said, thanks for listening. Get fucking dunked on. Bye.
See ya.